The power of squared. Stay tuned, everybody. We're going to share with you what that's all about. Giddy up. Welcome, everyone, to Your Little Castle Show, where we get to highlight those leaders who are making a difference in our little planet. Sean and I've got to know each other a little bit here. We saw you got some great work out there, and I saw the website, and I said, let me help you with that a little bit. And now all of a sudden, we fixed some things for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, we
did. That work out well?
Yeah.
Now he's got a great looking website. We're going to show it to you here in a minute. And I wanted him to have that for this show because this young gentleman here does great work, and we like to share those kinds of things with people. WilliamSquaredSTL.com.
Thank you, sir.
Good work. All right, here we go. So, shout out to our sponsors. Now, we wouldn't be able to do this without awesome sponsors, of course, because everything's got to get paid for somehow, right?
Some kind of way.
Somebody paying for it, and we like to have the sponsors we have because they have supported us for so long now. This is going into our 4th year.
Okay.
But shout out to Carroll House Furniture because you like nice things. Mm-hmm. Where do you like nice things? Well, in your little castle, of course, that perhaps William Squared General Contracting, my buddy Sean here, might have done some work for you to make that house beautiful. Right?
True indeed.
Lots of examples. We'll share with you guys a little bit here in just a second. And our other new big sponsor here, this is My Metal Pro. And I love talking about Metal Pro because literally, like, if you get into a situation in your life where you're trying to figure out how to invest, where to invest, what to invest in, for a long time for me, it was a matter of, I know gold is valuable. I did not realize until I studied it, everybody. Holy cow, I think it's the last 10 years, the gold has outperformed the S&P. There was a contest recently put on by Patrick Bet-David, or he talked about the contest. Look him up. A lot of people are familiar. He gets 7 million views a week, Patrick Bet-David. And he talks about how gold, he wasn't talking about, he offers gold too. Look up through sponsors he's got and whatever. But I can tell you, probably got a better deal here. I can show you that. But he said if you can beat the S&P, they went to some of the top investment guys in the world, mutual fund managers, said if you can beat the S&P in 1 year, $1 million.
Oh.
Guess what? Nobody could beat the S&P.
They couldn't.
So you're buying the index is what they're talking about. I'm not I did take the test at one point. I was thinking about going that path. I knew the InBev thing was coming when InBev bought out Anheuser-Busch. A lot of people know about that. But did some financial work and then decided to stick with what I'm good at. The housing market had an issue back then. It was 2008. But I got to learn quite a bit about this. Plus, I have a little bit of money from my accident. A lot of people know I was hit by a drunk driver in a coma. Had to talk to some investment guys. My dad lined me up. The rule of 72. Look at that one. I talk to investment people. They're like, what's the rule of 72? I'm like, go look it up. Divide 72 into your interest rate. They'll give you how long it'll take your money to double.
Okay.
And when you look at the S&P, that's hard to beat. They couldn't beat it. Guess what's beat the S&P?
What?
Gold.
Oh.
I did not know that until I studied. They don't want you to know that because they'd rather manage your fund for you and make a 1.5% commission
off your money.
Off your money. Exactly. Sean knows what I'm talking about. So check out my buddies at My Metal Pro. If you're looking to learn, get a hold of those guys. Some of the guests that we've had on our show are probably some of the best candidates because as a small business owner, you're trying to put $150 a month into it. Most of your investment guys are not going to talk to you. They're like, what $150? I ain't making no money off that. Not enough. But you can get more information from Gold Cowboy. We've just updated that page with more information there. You can check it out. Gold Cowboy. We interviewed the CEO of the company. They've got 100,000 members. Curtis hooked us up with that because he's the top distributor in the company, My Metal Pro. All right, so get into this because we know that there are businesses that make the world go round. Is that fair to say, Sean?
Yes, you are. Correct.
And small businesses in particular. So with that, let's jump in here. We did things a little different this time because I'm getting so overbooked now where we changed the format a little bit with the sponsorships. Things have turned into a more efficient way for us to do this. So Sean, sit in my office. Here's the questions. You may have had it. Did you get a chance to go through those prior?
I did all of them.
Okay.
I did.
But before that, did you get a chance to go through?
No, I did not.
And so this is going so quick, and we got people wanting to be on the show with the new sponsorship format. We got everything. It's working out great. And I said, all right, here's these 20 questions. Knock yourself out. I'm going to go set up the show because we had to look up your stuff. And that's what we figured out. There's a couple things I help you with the website. That turned out nicely quickly. Look at the website.
We got everything done.
got it done. We got a whole website ready to go. Not everything's completed, but the most important things. We're going to put some of his reviews will go up there too. We got lots of great reviews, lots of good things. The BBB A+ rated.
Yes, sir.
That's important.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people know who they're dealing with, and if you don't have a good rating on the BBB, that can not be so good for businesses.
Something wrong.
You got the A+. Good work.
Top of the line.
There you go. So tell me, why did you decide to get into general contracting? You started as kind of as a Ute. What's that movie that they say, the Utes?
The Utes,
Kids? You were young.
I actually started as a laborer
Okay.
first.
Yeah, makes sense.
Learned the trade, and then once I learned the trade of a laborer, I said, why not be an owner myself? I had the skill, had the know-how.
Right.
I just put it in God's hands and took a chance on myself. And here we are 19 years later.
19 years he's been doing this. I checked his age. I'm a little older than him. I may look a lot older than him, but I'm only a little bit
Just a
older.
little bit. Yeah.
And so, but I can understand that because I had another life. I was an IT guy, built Microsoft Exchange systems for the largest brewing company in the world. And then 10 years later, they go, bye-bye.
You don't need you no more.
We don't need you no more. That's for sure, man. That was like, wow. All of a sudden, people are like, oh, you got to work for Anheuser-Busch, the best company in the world. I'm like, hey, man, takeovers happen, and that's what happened.
You got to go. Got to find something else to do.
And I wish I had maybe started this career sooner. But I wasn't as smart as Sean was. He realized that at a younger age. Started a company, 19 years doing it himself. 25 years experience and
Yes, sir.
19 years doing it yourself.
Yes, sir.
Only took you 6 years to decide to go off and do
Yes,
it
sir.
yourself. All right. I like that. What would you say led you, though? Ultimately, when you got started, was this something as a child you were like competitive? Where did this come from, this construction?
I mean, it's
Aptitude
actually
you have.
just a kindness to my heart. I like to do consistent work. I like to take care of my customers like they're my family. And I like to show up like they would show up for their family. Consistent, passionate, and love what I do.
That's key to success. You can tell why he's made it 19 years because you handle your business that way. They say take care of your success in life is direct proportion to how many other people you've helped.
Correct.
Is that the approach? That's what you're
Correct.
talking about.
Correct.
All right, that's important because 19 years in business for anybody.
It's a long time.
That's a long time.
Yes,
That's
sir.
almost 2 decades. Most people don't work but like 3 decades
That's
in
correct.
their life. Some people, like my mom's done it for 6 now, but part-time for the last 2 decades. Don't do that. That's not the way. But she's a teacher and she'll
She loves what she does.
maybe you'll do that too. It's the thing. You end up retiring. What do you do? Wither away?
Yeah.
Gotta do something.
Got to do something. I can't just sit here and just.
Well, you got plenty of time to think about it.
Yes, I do.
Because you're still relatively young, as am I. Okay,
Yeah.
we're both in that.
We got a long way to go.
McClure North.
McClure.
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 And is there 2 schools? McClure North.
It's two of them. Yes.
There's not an east and a west, but there's
No,
a north.
north and the
and it's
plain.
McClure.
Yes.
So we might have played some. Did you play sports? What did you
I
play?
play football.
Football.
Yes.
See, I was going to be the kicker, but it
was
didn't
the
happen until
quarterback.
Cal. You were the quarterback.
Yes, sir.
That makes sense. Now we got the quarterback here, everybody, at McClure, starting quarterback
Yes, sir.
for the varsity team.
Yes, sir.
There you go. That makes some sense now. But yeah, their leaders often have to be those quarterbacks, right? Did you learn some skills from playing sports? either?
I did. Leadership skills, how to manage people, how to deal with people's attitudes, good and bad. So it goes hand in hand. So just the way my company does it. Have good customers, have bad customers, but you have to deal with people on the same level. You can't let their day be your day.
I like the way you said that one, that's for sure. By the way, I do have a secret package here. At the end of the show, we might show you guys a little bit. My buddy's business card, we'll put that aside here, but one of our past guests. But dealing with the consumers, your clients, your customers, you got to make them happy, whether they're having a good day or a bad night. But I like you said that. Take note of that one. I got the pencils here. I didn't
Write
tell.
that down.
Write that one down. I didn't tell Sean. The reason this pencil's sitting here is because you write things down because I think they're important. You don't have to listen to me. I'm saying it was important. I thought, don't make their day your day.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Man, that's a good one. Because how many people, like literally, da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, that's terrible.
That's
But
your day.
I got to keep.
I got to make my day better. And hopefully I make yours better by the end of the day.
Absolutely.
That's the concept.
That is the concept. That's a good way to live
Yes,
a
sir.
life. Man, I love it. We get to learn. I learn every guest brings something new here that I've never heard before. I'm not that smart.
Pretend.
I work a lot. I work a lot. You make a lot of mistakes. You learn from the mistakes too. I'll tell you.
Live you learn.
That's another one. All right. Well, then tell me. Then you've been doing this for now 19 years. What is it that really fuels your passion for this? I mean, obviously doing it that long. This isn't because you're like, oh man, I dread going to the job today.
No,
Your boss is pretty cool, I think.
he's wonderful.
Tell me about your
I
boss.
give him
Tell me about, and your other boss,
The main boss.
Sharonda. She's waiting over here.
She's over in the
She
side.
runs the business in the back end.
She
Right?
runs what people don't see.
That's right. All the stuff in the back office, that's where the hard work is done.
Correct.
He's out in front of the people. She's going, make sure this gets done. Make sure they order this. Make sure we put
And
that.
make sure it's paid for, and make sure everything's on time, and all that stuff. So,
All right.
but to answer your question, you said that I like my passion is I like to see the outcome of the job. I like to see when I leave the customer's house, I like to see their faces, and then they tell their family. And then this is the kicker. I can be out somewhere having a good time with my family, and I see one of my customers. I remember you. You did a great job on my kitchen. Come here, let me tell you about this guy. Got another customer right there on site.
There you go. That's that. Now I'm reflecting also because people, why do you do this Cardinal Cowboy thing? I'll put the hat on this. We're starting early here with the hat, everybody. When you're doing things in the community, we talk about that. But yeah, I just get a kick out of people coming up to me from years ago. Yeah. Man, I remember I got a picture with you at the Cardinal game. And that's kind of neat. I get to inspire people. You're building people's houses,
Yes.
like making their house go from something that probably needed some work, that if they didn't maintain it, if they didn't make these changes, it could be something they might say, you can't live here anymore.
Correct.
We've seen houses. A neighbor friend of mine, I remember they were like, they could be condemned if they don't fix some of the stuff.
Correct.
That happens. But in your case, you're saying, we're going to not even allow that to happen, but we're going to make it worth more.
Yes, sir.
Is that
Yes, sir.
truth? How does
Yes,
that
sir.
work?
I kind of get an idea from them.
Okay.
Just whatever they want. Just give me some color schemes. Let me go do my magic, and I come back with a game plan. Let's get it done.
There it is, a game plan. I like that. Some of our football reference there. We didn't talk much about the sports background. There's when I kicked professionally,
I see.
I got paid. I got to tell you how much I got paid, but I got paid, and that was after a coma.
Okay.
And I was just, you said that, and the kicker is like, you talking about the kicker? Kicker, nobody talks about the kicker except when they miss the field goal, right?
That's it.
But you got one job as the kicker. When you're the quarterback, though, you have a whole lot of jobs.
It's all on you.
Managing the team.
It's all on you.
There's one
Win or
person.
lose.
I don't know why they don't call him the president. They call him a quarterback. I'm like, there's a halfback, a quarterback, a running back, a quarterback.
Should be a holdback.
He's only a quarterback. Yeah, he's the whole. He runs the whole thing.
It should be a holdback.
But literally, so I didn't know that. How many years were you the varsity starting quarterback?
3.
3 years, everybody. I put him on a spot right there because if he says 1, we're like, okay, that's kind of what you
started
do.
out in my sophomore year and all the way to graduation.
There you go. Did you get any looks anywhere after that?
I did.
What did you
I
think
did.
about doing after that?
I did, but I got hurt. I broke my ankle,
Ooh.
and it kind of didn't heal right. So them dreams went out the window. So I had to find another passion.
God has a plan. You and I
Always.
are in the same boat now. I got
Always.
hit by a drunk driver. I would
Always.
have won the same awards. David Freeze, Ryan Howard, going to play pro ball. My coach finally told me I was good enough a couple years ago, not even a year ago. And I said, well, that's cool. Glad you didn't tell me that right after my coma. I would have been like, but I'm like, hey, God, put you in a different
sir.
place.
Yes, sir.
And so now that you've been impacting families and lives for 19 years, because people don't realize how important that is.
No,
Because
they
you have a house that you've just fixed for them that
Yeah.
otherwise might not be their house any longer if they
Yes.
don't take care of it.
Yes. And they have the best parties ever after I'm done. Like, it's the centerpiece of the house now. Everybody wants to sit in the kitchen. Everybody wants to go in the basement, or everybody wants to sit on the deck now, because this is the best spot of the house.
That is, and we'll show a lot of his work. We've got a number of pictures out there. I'll pull those up here in a folder we downloaded and said, let's take that one and that one and that one and that one. And then we uploaded them to his newly updated website too, and you'll see a lot of work that you can see as well. We mentioned it prior, but lots of people say great things about you. But that BBB, how important is it to you? I'm going to put that up on the wall for everybody to see. But to earn that A+ rating, that not everybody gets that.
No, sir.
I know some crazy stories about the BBB with businesses and what went on and how they had to explain what happened. But how do you feel like that you earned that, and how important is that to you?
Like I said, I like to do consistent, great work. I like to give the customer what they want, specifically if they ask for it. Even if they got to change the plan in the middle of the game plan, I have no problem with changing it, just to satisfy the customer almost to the fullest. And the BBB helps to get a lot of business as well, because like I tell customers all the time, do your research on your contractor. Like, look them up, look at their reviews, and most importantly, try to get like some references from work he has done. And BBB does that for me without even me having to say anything.
Well, there it is, everybody. I'm going to put this up on the wall. When you've got good ratings, you want people to see them. You've got good reviews, you want people to know about it. But somebody who's leading our community, take a look here as I scroll down. There is the page for your business, and then as you go down, there it is, that A+ rating. How exciting is that? And how long have you had that rating, and how long have you been with the BBB?
Been at the BBB since 2009.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that's what it says
I've
over
had
there.
my A+ rating since then.
Hey, started out right. You got to do it. And usually starts you off with an A-,
Yeah.
and then if you do well, you just move up to the A+, which he has done.
Yes, sir.
Good job, Sean.
Thank you.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you sharing some of that background and why that's important.
Mm-hmm.
But give me a little bit of a breakdown, if you can, a cost analysis. Very many people, they do get concerned with how much things are going to cost.
Correct.
A lot of people, though, and I'm guilty, everybody. I'm looking right at the camera now. Don't do that unless you make a really strong point. We're not politicians here trying to, but we do want to make a point. I said, you don't be one of those do-it-yourselfers that causes a whole lot more work and therefore a lot more money. But give me the breakdown, if you would, quickly of a quick. Let's talk about a bathroom.
Okay.
Or a kitchen. Which are those two of the
Either
core?
one, either fine.
And then people will spend $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 on kitchens. Maybe not quite as much on bathrooms, but still are in that ballpark.
Depends on the material they would like to choose.
Yeah, well, tell me then, what are some of the things that influence that cost?
The materials they choose, for one. Like I let my customers decide what they want to use. I don't pick any of the material for them. I let them pick what they like to have in their house, and it's really their option of the color scheme, the tile, the tub, things like that of sort, cabinet-wise. Because it can range from, like you said, from 50,000 on down to like 10,000. So it just depends on what the customer likes, and I try to oblige what they like.
Okay, because when we're getting down to it, it is often something that we have to make sure is done correctly, and that, I think, is what I'm alluding to. That is how many people want to do it themselves. Does that happen too often with kitchens and baths? People talk to you about. They say, "Well, let me do this piece."
It happens.
Tell me how that works.
It happens a lot, and
Okay.
I come in behind them and fix a lot of kitchens and bathrooms that they try to do themselves. But I'm also the kind of guy, I'm the kind of contractor, I can instruct you if you choose to do it yourself. But every time I've done that, I've always had to come finish the project. So it goes both ways, depending on how skillful they are and how good a listening ear they have.
Well, that makes sense because a lot of people, I can imagine most people are like, no way am I even going to mess with this. But every once in a while you want.
You get one or two every now and then that think they got it. But you know, I don't fuss and fight with them. I just let them do what they're gonna do, and I just tell them, call me if you need me. That's all I say.
Okay. But as a matter of cost analysis, when people literally are into this and they're saying, okay, and I'm just going to throw some numbers at you because you've done this for so long. This will hopefully tell me where I'm off. But because we have an Airbnb, and we had to get. We actually had a quote. Somebody came in and we didn't get the final quote yet, but like literally, you can do your own countertop as a big piece, right? But is it really worth doing that countertop? By the time you add your extra time, and you're not going to get as good a price potentially, and then is it marble? Is it granite? Is it
Limestone.
Limestone, or is it just the traditional vinyl? Laminate, right? Okay.
It depends what the customer wants. Like if you're going for a certain look or you're going for a certain style, I would go granite. It's more durable, lasts longer, and doesn't chip, break, catch fire, or anything like that. You know, some laminate tops, you could put a hot pot on it, might leave a burn mark on it, might leave a stain on it, you have to replace it down the line. But with granite and stuff like that, you have to wear things like that. But you're going to pay the cost for it. It's a little more expensive than the laminate. So
Right, and I have a granite-looking countertop. Maybe I'll show you sometime, but and it's all right. Some people could they just say, well, then if I want to save a few bucks, I can just do the island.
yes.
And some people will do upgrade to the island, leave the other countertop there, but that island. And I guess what you're saying is you'll help them with that cost analysis, saying, let me show you what it would cost.
Yeah.
And I guess let's stay away from so much discussion about people doing it themselves. I can't imagine somebody's going to try to install. I guess it's possible.
It's possible. It's possible.
All you got to do is mess it up this much,
And it's over.
crack the granite. Oh man,
It's no good. Now you got to start all over.
And they just wasted granite. Now you got to buy another granite.
Yes, you
and
do.
they're going to spend twice as much.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Then they got to call me.
And then they're really going to.
So now I spend some more money.
It's
So
just, yeah.
I'd rather not even do that. Just call me first. And then you get you took care of.
Take note, everybody. Do it right
The first time.
the first time. It saves you a lot of the expense that
Yes,
you
sir.
otherwise run into. We're 19 minutes in here. I got to keep going here. Gosh, I got a lot of good stuff we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as it boils down to it, because you do a lot. We show roofing. You do
Correct.
You can do siding. You
Correct.
can do the fascia and soffits and those
Correct.
kinds of things too. That's the outside stuff. Decks. I saw a deck the before and after. We're going to show you those pictures here. We're going to probably save that for show number 2, everybody. If you missed show number 1, watch show number 2, and what you should watch both of them. We're not doing show 5 or 4
Not yet.
or 3. See, I'm putting the rings up for everybody. But we're going to have 2.5 hours here with Sean because he really does know what he's talking about, and there's a lot of great examples of the work that he's done. And we want you to see that. But of all the things you do, what do you think it is that separates you? What is it that makes you your business stand out among lots of contractors out there? But
I would say I'm more of I'm hands-on. I'm the first guy you see. I'm the last guy you see at the project,
I got it.
and everything in between. And I like to satisfy my customers' likes and dislikes. So whatever they don't like, we don't have to do it. But what they like, we'll make sure they love it.
Well, it makes sense. And as I look back here there is that beautiful website, everybody, and so you can see some of the work. Obviously, I showed Sean. It can be done relatively efficiently if you know what you're doing, and so just some examples of some of his work there, and a lot more there for you to see as we go on. But we're gonna share a little bit more of the work he's done here. We'll save that for show number 2, because oh man, just so many people. They don't realize the increase in value that they can gain simply by having a professional installation of. It's like you buy a car, it loses money from the minute you walk off the lot. I bought 2 used cars recently, ladies and gentlemen. My buddy Joe, he's a dealer. You want to talk to somebody directly? He's a private dealer, and you can do that. But you're still losing money. You want to increase the value of something, especially houses, one of the only places where you can invest the money and you're not losing that money later.
No, it increases the value of the home.
Makes it go up in value.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And well, give me just a quick analysis on that, if you would, real quickly. But when somebody does the work with you, let's say it's a $30,000 job. Does that technically it's going to go up 40 or 50? So they're going to gain 10, 20, 30? It depends on where they're at. And
It
what
depends
they're
on
doing,
the area they're in, but technically on just a round figure, it increases about 25% of the home's value.
25% of the home's value.
Correct.
So if your house is worth 200,
You would,
50 grand more.
yes, sir.
And if it costs them 30, then that's at 20%. 20,000 literal cash increase in value.
Yes, sir.
Why wouldn't you do these kinds of upgrades?
You would like to, and then call me, of course.
As I'm sure so many people don't understand this.
That's
It's like why do house flippers make so much money? Because they
Correct.
buy the houses that are older and not maintained as well.
and
they
they do
come in,
the- they do
they're
the
going to make the
correct-
money instead of you.
They do the correct things to
Not
do.
you, but I mean
like
the
a
homeowner.
kitchens and bathrooms are the main thing that upgrades value to your home.
Okay.
So you really want to, if you want to get the value in your home upgrading the whole lot, do the kitchen and the bathroom.
Kitchen and the bathroom every time, everybody. Basement's getting finished. Those are things you can do as well, but that adds some value because you
Yes,
got
it does. You can add
empty-
a
empty si-
bedroom,
add a
in the
bedroom.
basement, add a bathroom in the basement, makes the value of the home go up as well.
Now we're talking, everybody, and something's kind of unique to St. Louis. I mean, I guess where's that line drawn? I know a friend of mine. He lived in Memphis, Tennessee. Grew up with him. Got a job down there. I went to his house. No basement. Memphis isn't that far south of us. It's south. But where's it? But St. Louis,
I don't know where
most
lines
everybody's
at,
got
but
a basement. Right.
9 times out of 10, every home in St. Louis has a basement until you get to a rent-style home. But specifically like a suburban home, you'll have a basement, nice-sized basement, full basement,
Okay.
naked basement, which means you can put a bathroom.
Yeah, it's unfinished.
It's unfinished.
You got cement walls.
You can just go with
no carpet.
Call me and I can draw your plans up and get you going.
And that, give me a ballpark on that one, because I haven't had, we've had a lot of people, they specialize in one thing, but they can't give me the ballpark for the whole thing. You do them all.
Yes, sir.
And so when you're talking about that, a basement, I'm thinking, okay, you're making a game room or a lounge area or a TV room, but also a
Man
bathroom
cave.
and a man cave, a bathroom and a bedroom.
Yes, sir.
Boy, you're adding not just the one thing, you're adding all of those. Can you add $50,000, $60,000, $70,000?
Yes, sir. With those things, when you put an in-home gym in your home, it increases the value by 50%.
A gym makes that much of an increase?
Yes.
Wow, I guess so, because that's where they're going to spend their money and time, go driving to go somewhere else and paying to go
They
there.
can do it at home.
Do it at home. People.
And own comfort of your home. Own shower in your own basement, everything.
Now he's got me thinking here
Yeah.
a little bit, everybody.
Got
All
your
right,
attention now.
So I have an unfinished basement, kind of partially. We'll see where we're at with we end up doing that. And a lot of times is they just take the money out of the equity in their house that they might already have.
They could do that, yes.
Borrow the money from the house equity they have.
And put it right back in
put
your
it
home.
right back in and make it increase worth even more, and then they have more equity
Yes, sir.
available. Smart. I do mortgages too, everybody. That's a piece where I refer to a well-known company right here, my buddy Jason Cunin. I said, Jason, I've known your last name for decades, but I didn't ever say it right. And he's like, it's Cunin. Cunin. And the mortgage pros over there, they do a great job. But literally, I mean, when you want to get a house increased in value,
Yes.
all of the space, you add it all up. That's why people can double the value in their house.
Correct.
Plus the appreciation it might have on its own without these things.
Yes,
And
sir.
do people have to worry about it? They have that fear that if they don't take care of it and they've got a mold problem or they've had some kind of other issue, that house is going down in value. Could be, like
would.
we're saying, you don't want a house to be condemned, but
Correct.
that is possible.
Yes, it is.
And then you really got a mess, because if you don't get that fixed,
You're taken away from home.
you're going to end up having no home.
Yes.
They're going to tell you can't live there anymore.
You have to move.
And now your house that you've been paying your mortgage on for decades, if not longer, is gone.
Now you got to start all over again.
Start all over. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Most people do buy houses because they know that's their long term. That's one of the best investments you can make.
Yes.
When you're doing anything you can purchase, and it becomes the number one asset that most anybody owns.
Correct.
Is that true?
Correct.
Okay. Well, we covered a lot here pretty quickly. I've got much more to talk about. We're about halfway through the questions I have for Sean. William Squared, General Contracting. Williams Squared. The power of square.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm not thinking about it. I'm like, literally, if you take 2 and you square it, now you have 4.
Yes, sir.
If you have 200,000 and you square it, now you have 400,000. I'm not going to say you're going to double the value of your house, but if you got all of it done right,
Yes, sir.
the power of the square. Square root, right? We're figuring these things out. He put it into his name so that you can keep that perspective in line.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna finish up here. I'm gonna ask you one more quick question. We might finish the question in the next half hour.
Okay.
But what is the one biggest mistake you see that homeowners make? Because you're talking about the whole general deal here, right? You got all kinds of ways to help them, and so that could be decking, siding, concrete, roof, kitchen, bath,
Windows.
basement, windows,
Doors.
garage. Okay.
Everything.
And literally, what's the mistake they make? You've seen the biggest mistake, and we'll talk about that more in the second half.
The biggest mistake I've seen is not doing your homework on the contractor.
Wow. Okay.
Not doing the homework. Just because he's cheap doesn't mean it's always good. That's the biggest mistake I've seen, because people hear the low number
Yeah.
isn't always a good number.
Well, I mean, isn't that almost counterproductive, because they're saying they're cutting corners somewhere, and when they're cutting those corners, now they're going to end up with a much inferior product
Yes, sir.
that will likely have to be replaced.
That's why I come in it.
We talked about this early in the show. Sean does a lot of cleanup work,
Yes, sir.
meaning coming after somebody saves some money with a less expensive bid, and now they've got to do it all over again. It costs them a lot more to do that.
Correct. And they could have just saved it. One call.
One call
One call.
to Sean.
Yes, sir.
Williams Square General Contracting. Let me get dirty. DURTY, I like that for you. And because you're going to be getting dirty no matter what you're doing,
Yes,
inside
sir.
or out.
Yes, sir.
But you'll do that.
Let me
dirty
do
work.
it, though.
He'll let you do the work, and so then you can just walk away and say, hey, now my house is worth a lot more.
Yes, sir.
Sean made his fair wage to do that, but make the difference there. Stay tuned for more, everybody. We'll be back with show 2 here in just a minute.